Hello. Started a little bit early. So, one, because I want to test and see if the dogs that are behind me here, if they're going to, how much barking is going to happen. So, I'm house sitting in the greater Phoenix megalopolitan area, and taking care of three pups, and then I'm throwing hay over the fence to horses, which I don't know that I can actually say that I'm actually caring for the horses in any way other than throwing hay over the fence. So that's within my capabilities. So big hello to Emma, Michael, welcome back, to Bill B, and to Bill J. Hello, Brian, Colette, hello, and bonjour, Paul. Hello, Ruth. And we've already got 5 likes. So that's super awesome. I think audio is okay, but it may be echoey because I did not bring a microphone with me. I also didn't bring a bell. So we'll, I don't, maybe I qualify as horse adjacent, but yeah, there are horses. And hello, Jeff McPhee. Okay, good. All right. Yeah, hopefully the audio doesn't turn into like a bombarding when the barking happens. But the gal who is the true horse whispering friend just came and put the horses in for the night and everything. So, and there was a lot of barking going on there. But that's just the dogs showing their evolutionary function, I guess. They wanted to let me know that there's somebody in the backyard, and I appreciate that. So, and hello, Lynn. All right, so we are at 15 minutes past. So for today, I've been kind of working off of this like kitchen island for the day, and I think I often talk about. Well, I should give another word at the top of the thing. Hi, my name is Andrew. I'm a certified mindfulness meditation coach, not a mental health professional. I am a software engineer by trade and training. I don't know why they say that, trade and training, or like, what is that? I don't know. Anyway, my degree is in computer science, which some might say makes me a scientist, but not really. What else? Some will know me from the Do Nothing Project, where I occasionally fill in for Jeff Warren and I moderate chat. Do we have a pair of Lyns? We do have a pair of Lyns. Welcome, Lynn Carter. Hopefully Thursday is treating you well in Australia. So I often say something to the effect of, whatever posture you want to be in. Oh, hello, S. Quinn. Whatever posture you want to be in is great. You could be lying down, you could be walking, you could be standing. And then I say, but I'm going to focus on being seated, either in a chair or on a cushion. And software engineer as well. So, okay, so by trade and training, so maybe that's what the distinction is, Emma, that there is training that could make you something, and then whether or not you are in that trade, maybe that's by trade and training. I think I picked that up from Michael Gervais' podcast. Being honest. So posture. But thank you for that, because that helps me figure out what the actual untangling of that whole by trade and training. So posture, I'm going to stand today. Now, I have 0 qualifications to guide meditation standing, or at least like I don't normally, that's not a thing that the Unified Mindfulness Meditation Certificate talks about. Primarily, we look at trying to get your knees below your hips so that you have a solid tripod, sort of, if you're going to sit on a cushion. And if you're going to sit in a chair, usually we talk about trying to sit in a way where your feet are flat. But mostly Taoists are the ones who meditate while standing. So if you're a Star Wars fan, there is one of the few meditation sequences that you'll find in Star Wars is putting my phone on airplane mode. So if you heard feedback, that's where that was coming from. There's a sequence in Attack of the Clones where Anakin is standing outside meditating, and he's standing, and he's got kind of a hand posture for his hands. And I think his hands are behind him, which is a very like Jedi thing to do. But if you notice, Taoists will meditate, and their hand almost makes, well, you can't quite do it right, but their hand almost makes a yin yang with the way that they put their hands, and they put their hands then just below the belly button, and they're not quite in like a horse posture like the that you see for qigong folks, but similar, so like soft knees. So I'm going to stand while I guide today. You're welcome to take whatever posture that you want, but I just thought I would mention that as a thing. So I occasionally say that, and you think, well, I'm just sort of trying to hit all my marks along the way. As a Star Wars fan, I have always been trying to kind of figure out like what was the technique that Anakin was doing, like what was that? And to be honest, in my not incredibly thorough research, usually it seems to be an open presence technique. It seems to be an open presence technique. We'll leave it at that. How about that? And so that's just kind of what I'm going to play with today, is just kind of, can we be this like open aperture? And so I'm in a bigger space than I normally am. As Quinn pointed out, there's windows, which means that we occasionally get all of the stuff washed out. You can see the video sensor not really quite figuring things out at the moment. So just being able to be aware of the space that you're in, just kind of being in that. So seeing if you can kind of extend your space outwards, being that like open aperture. That's roughly, and that barely qualifies as a theme, but that's going to be our theme for today. You're always welcome to allow me to be in the background, to totally ignore me, and just going to be here for the chat and hanging out and a chance to kind of, and you'll occasionally hear me talk a bit about accountability to some level, just knowing there's a time, like on Wednesday, I'm going to sit at this point, or like on Sunday. I think there is part of the function of having a regular standing meditation time is that like, oh, that's my time in my week that I'm going to do that meditation thing. So, so if you're coming for accountability, awesome. You can allow me to be in the background, and then I will tell you when we start, since I don't have a bell. Oh yeah. So I do send out a meditation primer or reminder thing, and I think if you want to find what Paul's talking about, I think if you look for Gateless Gate Studio on YouTube, and so it was really cool to see. So I had highlighted that I did the contour map drawing. I think someone had mentioned, I didn't see their name, I forgot their name already, but someone mentioned that they did the portrait exercise. And so maybe that was you, Paul. So that's cool. I like to throw in these little nuggets in the reminder emails so that there's like a little like surprise other than a YouTube link. and so that's great. You'll hear Jeff from an open stance on Sunday. He'll talk about, like other things that you could be, like doing, like your meditation practice could be sort of sitting, folding the laundry. Like he has a very wide open aspect. So drawing in that case, I think for some folks is in that vein. So I had found a bunch of there are the barks. It's okay. And so hopefully it won't be too bad. If it gets too barky during the thing, during our sit, we will. And that's a great idea, Colette, using a dog for the portrait. It's okay. Vinny and Romeo, it's all right. Yeah, totally. Thank you. All right, awesome. Yeah. So if it gets really loud, I might mute myself on this end. But I think we'll be okay. It's always hard to know. All right. So 25 minutes on the clock. I know, Vinny. I know. So they just want to weigh in, right? Dogs are always, and that is a welcome to the party kind of a thing. I will say this about dogs. I find that I am able to welcome them to the party more if I've met them, which I don't know. So if I know my neighbor's dogs, like I'm like, something's up. Blue is barking, but I know it's Blue, so not just the neighbor's dog. All right. Anyway, here we go. 25 minutes. Sound of my voice is our bell. So as I mentioned, I'm going to be standing for this meditation. So I'm going to stand in a way that allows me to hopefully kind of stay still, but I know that I'm going to sway. And so you could be walking. That's always an option, or maybe even kind of walking but pacing. Totally fine from a meditation or a walking meditation perspective. In that situation, you kind of have a defined track that you're walking back and forth. So somebody might call that pacing. And you could be lying down or seated, and they're all totally valid postures. And as you settle in, just kind of getting an idea of if you're upright. So again, we're looking for an upright, not uptight posture. Want to avoid the shoulders creeping up by the ears. We want to avoid trying to kind of, if the spine is sort of rolling forward, just sitting up a little more. When I sit up, it sounds kind of funny to say this, but when I sit up, I feel kind of regal. So and then just sort of checking in, what's the weather like? So we start every sit with a bit of inner weather. As Jeff says, it's what's here already. It's what's here before we started. And then finally, a few deliberate breaths. And as the Beastie Boys say, slow and low is the tempo we're looking for. And as we're breathing, just seeing if we can allow ourselves to breathe low into the torso. And then that extension or accentuation of the exhale is a physiological cue to switch over, or that it's safe to switch over into more of a rest and relaxation state. And so for the first pointer, just kind of being aware of the space around you. as you start to feel kind of in maybe all directions, you may start out with a sort of a feeling towards the front of the body, just seeing if you can kind of feel 360 around you. And then just being aware of kind of if you feel a tug in a particular direction when you're feeling around you. And you might feel that tug in the direction of maybe a cat or a dog or a pet. And it could be in the direction of a shade tree kind of outside of the room you're in. Or I'm particularly fond of cacti. And so this is a stance that you're settling into, and I want to let you explore that. And before I let you explore more, just offering if this doesn't feel supported, if you feel like you need a little bit more technique, you can always shift to a home base. You can even kind of toggle between the home base and then this sense of feeling the space around you. And so I'll let you explore that for a bit. And then just to come back to our sort of experience of what's going on emotionally in the body, or the inner weather, as I was saying. Just kind of seeing, what is it like now? And if what was here to begin with is still here, totally fine. But maybe things have changed. Maybe it was snowing and now it's still. Maybe it was still and now it's snowing. And the last little thing that I'll see if you're up for exploring is just kind of seeing if you can, in the space that you're feeling around you, see if you can reach out in kind of all directions. Or like, can you feel the connection to kind of everything that's living in that 360 direction? And so before you go off and experiment on your own, just the last little touch point, what Luke would offer as kind of feeling, sending out your feelings. What do you get back? Do you feel a connection? All right. And to your sit, you decide. So if you want, you can continue sort of exploring the sort of 360 space around. But this is an opportunity or a reminder that you can let go of the technique and do nothing. And what are we doing when we say we're doing nothing? We're letting go of our intention to control our attention. And then we're not monitoring. So we're not sort of putting ourselves on double secret probation. We're sort of just, if we happen to notice that we're trying to shift or guide our attention, we let go of that. And if you let go of that multiple times and the mind wants to count your breaths, then that's what it wants to do. So enjoy doing nothing. And that's the end of our 25 minutes. I'm standing barefoot on hardwood floor, and I now realize why I don't do that for 25 minutes. So thank you for your practice. May any benefit or may any merit generated from our time together go to benefit all sentient beings, including pooches. So that's excellent. Great to hear that, Emma. And you're incredibly welcome, Jeff and Lynn. So Ruth, I would cuddle with them, but I'm actually allergic to these pups. So the dogs that I've had in the past were hypoallergenic dogs, and so I would be sneezing up a storm and potentially having a sore throat if I was sitting. But I think that I think they would enjoy it if I did. But it's too bad. It would be good times. So I don't think there's anything to announce other than we made it through March almost. So in April, we're going to play around with this idea that I'm going to basically write some techniques on cards, and we're going to shuffle the cards and pull them to see what our technique, what our not nothing technique is. Some really bad grammar there. But whatever our technique that we're doing for the 20-ish minutes will be that, and then we'll cap off our meditations with the do nothing like it'll still be 25 minutes. And then Monday there's a new for CEC. There'll be a new theme come Monday because it's a new month. And then I know it's Easter on Sunday, but everything I'm aware of is the Do Nothing Project still on for Sunday. So if that were to change, I think that would come out on Saturday. You're super, super welcome, Ruth. And so anyway, it is Easter on Sunday. So we'll see. That's something that I realize now that I had meant to ask Jeff about to see if that was going to happen on Sunday. So we'll see. And then the other thing too is if you are signed up for Jeff's mailing list, they are moving the mailing list over to Substack soon. And I think I had mentioned this 2 weeks ago now. But so that's just as a heads up. So if we have a week like this where there's maybe Easter, we aren't hopefully going to move. We're not moving at this point, but just want to make sure we get communications. So if you haven't subscribed and you want to subscribe to Jeff's mailing list, you can go to jeffwarren.org, and I think there's a form at the bottom to sign up, because we'll eventually use that as the group when we move over to Substack. And then I'm toying with, although as Ruth points out, the doing everything in regular email is way more fun. I've been toying with playing around with a Substack for some of the things related to Wednesdays and other things that I've been doing, just so that I have some familiarity with it as a platform. So I may do some experiments with that. I can't remember who. Somebody had asked about pictures. I haven't forgotten. So what I might do is grab my slide deck that I used for coworkers, and then record a video, like a quick voiceover video of the 25 or 20 or 30-ish photos from Antarctica, from the Antarctica trip. So I haven't forgotten about that. Zoom check-in. So I'm thinking about trying towards the end of April, doing a Zoom check-in. So that's just to speak to Ruth towards community. That's something that Fred, I think, had suggested, and a few other people had liked that idea. So a matter of then the fun part about community is what time. So the idea, I think, for that would be maybe like a short-ish sit, maybe something long enough that we feel like we've had some time together. So maybe it's a 10-minute or a 12-minute or something like that, and then kind of a roundtable, sort of a format, sort of keeping it on like practice and practice challenges. But yeah, so that was a thing that had been floated and ideas, and so I haven't forgotten. I think I have everything in place to be able to make that happen from a Zoom-ish perspective. So more information on that. So let's see, it's the end of March. So we wouldn't be doing that for at least sort of 3 weeks. So it'd be towards the end of April. So, yeah, definitely. So what was that? We'll see. So yeah, I think that's everything. And then we're getting really dangerously close to the top of the hour. So I know folks will, some folks will hop at the top of the hour. So, but yeah, thanks everyone, and you're incredibly welcome. I'm always, super humbled that we get a group that together on a middle of the week Wednesday to sit together. So, and I haven't meditated standing up now probably in like 6 months, so it's kind of interesting. So I definitely got a different feeling out of that from the posture. So, all right, we'll see you. Have a great week, and if we don't see you Sunday, we'll see you next week. Bye.